Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapiyat Sarvam Trailogyam Sacharacharam Tadpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram. Syavar Ramachandra ki jai. Pavana Sudha Hanuman ki jai. Bolo Bhai Sab Santan ki jai. Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Shri Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. We left off in yesterday's class looking at who is the best one who can share with us how to remove our sorrows. And we found that one who has gone through the sorrows will be able to be sympathetic and empathetic towards our sorrows and will be able to help us overcome our sorrows. And Tulsidas ji, having gone through all his difficulties in life and finally fulfilling completely his true nature, coming to experience that Lord in his heart, by the grace of Bhagwan Hanumanji, who represents here our Guru, comes to remove that sorrow from his heart by showing him his Bhagwan. So therefore, Tulsidas ji, in praise of his Guru, Hanumanji, knowing very well that we want to overcome our sorrows and that we all are looking for that permanent happiness, Hanumanji's Tulsidashi composes these 8 verses to help us remove our sorrows. First, indicating to us what are the causes of the sorrows, then showing us what is the cure for that sorrow. Because once we know what the cause is and we know what the cure is, then we need to apply that. So, therefore, in these 8 beautiful verses, the causes are shown, the cure is shown, and through a use of the stories of the Ramayana. So, therefore, we established yesterday that the remover of our sorrow is none other than Hanumanji. So, we looked at Sankat means problems or sorrows, and Mochan is one who liberates us, frees us from our sorrows. And such a person is called Sankat Mochan. And here, Sankat Mochan is our Hanumanji. So therefore, beautifully, this Hanuman Ashtakam is also called as Sankat Mochan. So now let us go into the verses and see how Hanumanji shows us the cause and gives us the cure, the remedy to remove our sorrows. So therefore, when we study these verses, don't just look at it from the standpoint of an other person. Look at it from your own perspective. Reflect on your own things that you feel that you are sorrowful about, what your problems are, and see a solution will be there in these 8 verses to help us alleviate our sorrow and free us from this bondage of sorrows and lead us to this permanent happiness. So with that, now let us look at verse 1. Let us chant verse 1 first.
बाल समय रभि बक्षी लियो तब, तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो। बाल समय रभि बक्षी लियो तब, तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो। ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह, ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह। संकट काहू सो जात न टारो, संकट काहू सो जात न टारो।
देवन आनी करी बिनती तब, देवन आनी करी बिनती तब, छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो, छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि, को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि, संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो, संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो.
Let us chant that verse 1 again.
बाल समय रभि बक्षी लियो तब, बाल समय रभि बक्षी लियो तब, तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो, तीनहु लोक भयो अंधियारो। ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह, ताहि सो त्रास भयो जग को यह। संकट काहू सो जात न टारो, संकट काहू सो जात न टारो।
देवन आनी करी बिनती तब, देवन आनी करी बिनती तब, छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो, छाड़ी दियो रवि कष्ट निवारो। को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि, को नहीं जानत है जग में कपि संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो संकट मोचन नाम तिहारो.
Oh Lord Hanuman, long time ago, when Hanumanji was a little baby, his mother Anjana had placed him on the cradle and gone to do something else. But little Hanuman was hungry. It is very interesting how children become very hungry very quickly. He had just had his feed, but he was still hungry. And as he was lying there, as he looked up and he saw this orange looking round thing. And for him, it looked like an orange. So, when you are hungry and when you are looking, it appeared like food. So Hanumanji, thinking it is food, he flew towards that. Without even realizing, he had left his cradle and he flew towards that. And having reached that orange, he picked it up and he swallowed it. And this entire world became dark. And seeing that the world has become dark, now we all know for a moment without the sun how cold it becomes. But here the sun was swallowed. And there was total chaos and panic in the universe. And all the devatas of the heavens assembled in front of Hanumanji and asked Hanumanji, please give us the sun back. And Hanumanji, out of his compassion, releases the sun. Now, when we tell this beautiful story to the children, in amazement they look at, wow, Super Hanuman, that Hanumanji could do this. But with a little bit of inquiry, with little bit of discrimination, we look at this story and it looks like a, who are you trying to kid? How can a little baby monkey jump and eat that sun which is so far away, and on top of that swallow the sun? Now our rishis, who had given us many wisdom, of the number 0 itself, our rishis have given. On top of that, the distance of the moon, the sun, the stars, they had given that. So for them, did they not know that the sun, a gassy mass of fire, could be swallowed? Did they not know it is not possible? Therefore, what we have to understand is, in this simple story, there's the underlying knowledge of mysticism given to us if we look carefully. Through all of the stories that we hear in our scriptures, there is the simple story which creates the love of our heart for the Lord. But at the same time, as we dig deeper into it and go into the symbolism of it, we come to understand what is that wealth of knowledge that is being given to us. So here, Hanumanji flew to the sun and grabbed the sun and swallowed it. What does this sun symbolize for us? The sun is the source of energy for all living entities. In Hindu scriptures, the sun symbolizes that infinite Lord, which is the source of everything. And that infinite Lord is nothing but that supreme knowledge. It's the source of all knowledge. Hanumanji, in his hunger to gain that knowledge, he flew towards it. And having reached it, not only did he get the knowledge, but he became one with the knowledge. He swallowed it and he made it his. And the moment he swallowed his knowledge, that knowledge became his, this entire creation became dark. This entire creation became dark. To understand this, we look towards Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan in verse 69 in chapter 2 says to us, Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato munehe. That which is night for all beings, in that self-controlled man, he is awake. Where all beings are awake, it is night for that sage, that Muni. That which is dark means that which he is asleep to. What is he asleep to? Upon gaining that infinite knowledge and coming to recognize that the Atma, the Self alone, the Lord alone pervades the entire creation. The Lord alone is. His vision of the duality, the plurality, disappeared. And what he saw was that infinite Lord, that infinite Self, the Self in me, the Self everywhere, pervading. So therefore, this creation of plurality was dark to him. It no longer was. Whereas for you and me, this entire creation is there. We can feel it, we can experience it. For us, that what we are asleep to is this infinite glory of that permanent existence, consciousness, bliss, permanent happiness is what we are asleep to. We are awake to this temporary, ever-changing, ever-fluctuating, impermanent world. So therefore, Hanumanji, having swallowed that knowledge, means became one with his self, one with that Lord. The entire creation became dark. Means it disappeared. Or he came to see what was really there. You and I see this world, this creation, based on our vasanas, our clouding. We have created this illusion of this world. We are seeing, we are imagining that happiness is here. We don't see what that Muni, that Hanumanji sees. Hanumanji sees that one infinite truth of bliss, happiness, existence. You and I see the world of change and the world of joys and sorrows, which leads to sorrow. So therefore the question is asked, why is it that if this entire creation, behind it is that Supreme Lord, why is it that that Supreme Lord appears to be all of this? Because if there is only the Supreme Lord, which is the infinite, which is what Hanumanji sees, why is it that we are seeing this pluralistic, dualistic world? Why did that infinite become this finite? Why did that infinite bliss become the blisters, the sorrows of our life? Why all this? So therefore, he says, due to your childish prank, darkness engulfed the whole world and no one knew how to release the sun. Due to childish prank. What is this childish prank? To understand this, it is like a little child tells his mummy, the mummy, let us play hide and seek. When they're little, their most entertainment is mummy only. So that, mummy, we will play hide and seek. So mummy said, okay baby, we will play. So they both sitting in the bedroom on the bed, and he said, I want to play. So mummy said, okay. And then baby said, mummy, you go and count, and I will hide. Mummy said, okay. So mummy walked outside the room, and she said, baby, are you ready? And baby said, ready, you start counting, mummy. And so mummy started counting. 1, 2, 3, and then baby is looking. Now where can I hide? He looks around the room. Then he says, mummy will find me everywhere, so I'm going to hide under my blanket. So he covered himself in that, underneath that doona, and he hid there. And mummy said, baby, are you ready? Baby said, ready. So, but mummy knows that baby is under blanket, because as she walked into the room, there's this big lump sitting in the middle of the bed. So mummy goes and says, baby, where are you? So she goes to the cupboard, and she especially opens the cupboard with noise. Oh, baby, you're not in the cupboard. And baby is sitting under the blanket. Mummy doesn't know. I've hidden from mummy. But mummy knows he's there, and he's giggling away inside. Then mummy looks, is he under the bed? Are you under the bed, baby? And she looks under the bed, but there is no baby there. So baby, you're not there. Then she said, maybe baby sneaked outside. So baby, are you outside? And baby's laughing. Mummy does not know where I am. And mummy comes out of the door. Mummy is standing at the door only. But she calls out, baby, are you there? Where is baby gone? Baby, where are you? Baby, where are you? Baby, where are you? And she's looking. And she's just standing at the door. But slowly she reduces the volume to as though she's gone far away. And then baby is sitting there inside the blanket. Mom does not. And the voice of mummy faded away. And baby sitting under the blanket. And just listening to mummy's voice going away. Suddenly, baby looked around his doona. He forgot that he himself covered himself by the doona. And it was all dark there. And baby started to get scared. He said, it is dark. And then he tried to get out of that. And he started pushing the doona. And the more he tried pushing the doona away, he was getting entangled in that doona. And the more he got entangled, the more he screamed, Mummy, please save me. Mummy, please save me. And he was getting tangled into getting rolled up into a big nice roly-poly. And he was screaming away. And where was Mummy? She was standing there and watching. And then, after a few minutes, baby screaming, totally entangled. Mummy goes there and she pulls the blanket off. And at that moment, baby looked at mummy, and mummy could see all the tears and the rosy cheeks, tears pouring out. And the moment he saw his mummy, oh mummy, and he hugs his mummy. In the same way, that infinite truth, momentarily forgot, identified to the creation, identified and got caught in this. Started thinking that it is the body, the mind, the intellect. But all out of this childish prank. Thinking, let us play. We also. Do we not go to a movie? And as we are watching the movie, we get so engrossed in the movie for that moment. And then we identify to the character in the movie and we also start crying. We also want to punch that villain. But after that moment is over, you come back to realize, it was only an identification. I am this only. Nothing has happened to me. But it is this forgetfulness, this momentary identification. So therefore, this darkness is called avidya. Now, yesterday we saw the symbol of 108. 8 is the Prakriti, the 5 elements, mind, intellect, and the ego. 1 represents that infinite truth which is permanent existence, consciousness, bliss. That is the Lord, that is my real nature. But identified to the 8, the individual jiva, the ego, is born. Now, why is that jiva born? Because for that moment, I forgot. And when I forget who I am, for that moment, I identify to what I am not. So therefore, Gurudev says, non-apprehension of my own true nature led to misapprehension. I don't know who I am, but I think I am this. Is the misapprehension. My real nature is Sat Chit Ananda, permanent, infinite existence, all-knowing consciousness, knowledge, infinite bliss. This is what my real nature is. But at this moment, I think I am finite, individual. Body, mind, intellect is me. My existence is impermanent. My knowledge is very little. My happiness is joy and sorrow, up and down, finally leading to sorrow. This is who I think I am right now. So that infinite Satchidananda has become this, appears to become this finite. How is this possible? So due to ignorance, I forgot who I am momentarily. Identifying to something I am not. I have created this cycle of samsara, this world of joy and sorrow, which is creating, finally leading to sorrow only. So therefore, what is the cause of this truth? Forgetting. Forgetting momentarily. As though, because that Supreme is ever all-knowing. So it can never become finite. But it appears to have become finite. And why? Just like that baby was never entangled. Because all it required was that sheet to be removed. The baby was free. But in the drama of thinking I am stuck, seems to have got caught more and more. All was required was that cloth to be removed. So why is it that you and I have become entangled? And we saw yesterday that zero is called Maya. That Maya makes the infinite look finite. Even though infinite cannot be finite. And even Maya depends on the infinite truth, that one, for her existence. Zero by itself has no value and you don't even know how to explain it. But zero in line with that one, zero with zero, when you could put many zeros after it, but first of all, if it doesn't have the one in it, it is meaningless. So the zero depends on the one for its existence. The one does not require the zero for its existence. So Maya requires the Lord for her existence. But the Lord does not need Maya for his existence. So therefore this zero, this Maya, is the cause of this infinite appearing to look finite. So a definition of Maya is that which makes an impossible thing become possible or appear to be possible. So therefore, what is this Maya? So the Vedas, this question has been there for a very, very long time. Narad Muni asked this question to Bhagavan Vishnu. He said, "Oh Bhagavan, I want to know what is Maya." So Bhagavan smiled and said, "Why do you want to know what is Maya?" He said, "Because we keep talking about Brahman, we talk about the Lord, but what is Maya? We are not able to explain. What is Maya?" So Bhagavan smiled and he kept quiet. One day, Bhagavan and Narad Muni were traveling, going somewhere. And as they were traveling, they seemed to have ended up in the desert. And as they were walking in the desert, Bhagavan said to Narada, "Oh Narada, can I have some water?" So Narad Muni looked at Bhagavan and said, "Where to get water in the desert?" He said, "Narada, please get me some water." So Narada, being a great devotee of Bhagavan, said, "Bhagavan, no problem. You sit under this tree and I will get you water." And after some time, Narad Muni went. He went and he walked. And in a distance, he saw an oasis. A beautiful village was there in the midst of the desert. He goes there. And as he enters the beautiful garden, beautiful flowers, fountain of water, everything was there. So he goes and knocks on the door of that house. And when the door opened, there was a beautiful young lady standing there. And she was very shy in seeing Narad Muni. And Narad Muni also started blushing, looking at her. She said, come in, Muni, come and sit down, please, Muniji." And so came and sat there. And having sat there, she said, "Narad Muni, oh Muniji, what would you like?" He said, "I would like some water." So she brought the water and he was constantly looking at her. At that time, the young lady's father came and he introduced himself. "I am the chief of this village and, you're welcome to stay." And mesmerized by this young girl, Narad Muni forgot that he had come to take water for Bhagwan only. He spent a few days there, and over a period of time, he got to know this young girl. And then they approached the father and said, "We would like to get married." And having got married, number of years passed, and they had produced three children. Three children were produced, children were playing around, and old the father, he had died, and Narad Muni became the chief of that village. He was the head of the village, and news came that there were going to be great floods coming. So Narad Muni said, "Oh, what do we do?" So what do we have to do? He collected all the villages together, and then they created these bunds to stop the water from coming in, and they secured the whole place. And the rains came, and they poured, and the floods came, but their security of their bunds broke away, and it flooded the whole village. And Narad Muni, his three children and his wife were sitting on the roof of the house, and the water rose, and the wind was so much that they all fell into the water, and the wife was holding on to Narad Muni. Narad Muni was holding on to his son. Two of her sons other sons are holding on to the mother, and it's pouring away. And at that time, the water was so heavy that the wife and Narad Muni separated. And in that separation, she goes to grab Narad Muni. Her two sons fall off. And Narad Muni trying to grab her. The son who was holding on to him fell off. And Narad Muni screamed, "Oh, my wife, my children!" And there was a tap on the shoulder. And he said, "Narada, where is my water? Narada, where is my water?" And Narad Muni, where was he? He said, "Where's my wife? Where's my children?" Narad Muni, "Where's my water?" Then Narad Muni saw that he was sitting under the tree with Bhagavan. He was supposed to go and get water, but in that conversation, Bhagavan, he fell asleep. And Bhagavan said, "Narada, this is what Maya is. Maya is that which makes the impossible become possible. It's an imagination. It's an illusion that is created. We are all living in this illusion called this world. What is really there is that infinite Lord which is pervading everything. The glory of Bhagavan is there. But what is it that you and I are seeing? You and I are seeing the world which we have created to see. Each and every one of us are seeing this world differently. Even if it's the same object we see, we are seeing it differently. Based on our, first of all, the cause is Maya, which comes as ignorance, self-forgetfulness, makes us forget who we are. Who are we? We are that infinite truth, that pure consciousness by which all this inert matter, the prakriti that we saw, the five elements, space, air, fire, water and earth, mind and intellect and the ego is able to function only because of this consciousness, this truth, this spirit within, this Atma, this Lord within. We are nothing but that. But identified to this due to this self-forgetfulness called ignorance. And then imagining what it possibly can be. This imagination has created this creation for us. That what we perceive as this world. Because what Lord has created cannot be miserable. But what we have imagined is full of sorrows. So therefore, one who comes to understand that this whole world is what I am seeing as my world is only a perception of my own mind, as my mind so the world. So as my mind so the world means what I see through my mind, I see the world. So therefore, what type of mind do I have? What type of desires do I have? What types of likes and dislikes do I have? So therefore, I need to remove these shades that I put in my mind, which I am now seeing the world of sorrow. Guruji says, inner transformation is world transformation. We don't need to go and change the world. Change the perception of our mind. Clean up that mind and see God's creation. So how to clean up this mind? So therefore, it is told, the Devatas came and besieged you, and you released the sun and saved the world from chaos. At this moment, we are all seeing the world based on our own perception, through our own filthy, dirty, chaotic mind. Through our own selfishness, we are seeing this world. And each and every one seeing the world based on our own individual minds, we are having total chaos. So who can free one's mind from all this? Such a person is called Devatas. So don't think Devatas are just those heavenly divine beings. Devatas means those seekers who have come to realize that this world of sorrows is created by my own mind, my own imaginations, my own attachments, my own selfishness, my own likes and dislikes. Who have removed that. They are called Devatas. And what are the qualifications of these Devatas, these seekers? So therefore in Vedantic Shastras, it is explained to us that who are these Devatas? Who are these spiritual seekers who can become free and see the beauty instead of seeing only the sorrows? Who is that can realize that infinite bliss? These Devatas. What are their qualifications? So the Vedas, the scriptures point out to us, the Vedanta Shastras explain to us, Sadhana Chatushtaya. What is this Sadhana Chatushtaya? It starts with Viveka. Viveka, discrimination between permanent and impermanent. The real and the unreal. The ability to see what is impermanent in this world and to come to try and recognize the permanent. Anything that which changes in the past, present and future, somewhere in the past, present or future, if it is not available or it appears to be available in any one period of time, it is considered as unreal. It is not there either in the waking, dream or deep sleep. In one of these realms, it doesn't exist. Because we have three worlds of experiences, which is called the waking world. Right now we are all awake. Some of us may be asleep. In the dream world, we create a new creation, a new world in our own mind. And in deep sleep, we dissolve everything and we go back into that seed of our causal body, the seed of our vasanas. We go and sleep there till the time we wake up again. Three worlds of experiences. So that which is real must exist in the waking world, in the dream world and the deep sleep experience. It should be there in the past, present and future. This is what is real. Anything that is unreal, it exists, but it only exists for some period of time in some of the three states of experience. So this is called Viveka. So being able to separate the two. What is impermanent, what is permanent, what is unreal and what is real. At least with our intellect, we can come to see what is that which is unreal, that which is changing. And then, that is the first qualification. Second is Vairagya. The moment we discriminate and come to understand that something is impermanent, that which is giving me sorrow, if I can leave that from my life, so detaching from it, dependence on it, I drop. That is called Vairagya. At the moment I'm dependent on the world of objects which I think is going to make me happy. What we have to understand is the old saying, one person's trash is another person takes it up and says it's going to give me happiness. So therefore it is not the object where the problem is, it is in our own mind. So therefore this world of object, but do it with understanding. Do it with that knowledge and discrimination that you are able to separate. So Viveka and Vairagya. Then he says Shat Sampati. Shat Sampati is Shama, Dhamma, Uparama, Titiksha, Shraddha and Samadhanam. To be able to discriminate between the two, our mind needs to be calm. But at the moment our mind is so agitated that our intellect cannot work for us. Because discrimination is done by our intellect. But when our mind is agitated out of likes and dislikes and some emotion and attachment, it is not able to think. So therefore, one must have calmness of mind. One must have mastery over their mind. At this moment, our life is led by our likes and dislikes and our desires. Our intellect doesn't really have a say. Mind, the moment the mind desires, likes something, it's gone. So therefore, we need to become master of our mind. So this mastery of the mind is called Shama, which leads to calmness of mind. Dhamma, if I can't master that mind, then he says, practice Dhamma. Dhamma is control of the senses. Because the moment I see an object which is desireful, I immediately run through there. So therefore there's an onslaught from outside pulling me out to do an action. For the other, or the hatred of something I see, it pulls and brings out the anger out of me. So therefore, sense control, restrain the senses is what is required. So therefore, if you can't, the moment you have said mastery of the mind, automatically all our equipment is controlled. Because the mind is the manager, the one that controls everything. So therefore, if we can take mastery of the mind, senses are controlled. Our duties are done, our mind is single pointed, all that takes place. But if we can't, then practice sense control, sense restraint. And then, once we have controlled, close our eyes, stay away from that, then with that mind, with a little bit more calmer, use that intellect to understand why the problem is there and resolve it. Don't just push it down and suppress it, but resolve it. This is called Dhamma. That also very difficult, Swamiji. So he says, we must cultivate the quality of Uparati and Uparama. Withdrawal from wrong activity which is going to lead you to sorrow. In another place, Shankaracharya says to us, that practice doing our duty. When one can do one's own duty, there is no time to do wrong activity anyway. Because there are plenty of duty available for us. So therefore, practice duty and withdraw. Then he says, to achieve anything great, we must be able to go through the pains, obstacles that come to us. There will be some pain. No pain, no gain. So therefore, there will be difficulties. So for the goal, bear what is going to come to you. This is called Titiksha. And one must have Shraddha, conviction. And scriptures, Vedanta Shastras point out, we must have Shraddha for 5 things. One is one must have Shraddha in one's conviction in one's own self. In one's own Shraddha in God. Third, Shraddha in the scriptures. Fourth, Shraddha in our Guru. And Shraddha in the means, the practices that my Guru gives me so I can practice it. So therefore Shraddha, this strong conviction in these 5 is necessary. Now Shraddha also in English cannot be translated. But initially we start our journey with blind belief only. Some emotional attachment. Some curiosity. But that is not enough. We have to study the Shastras. We have to study it under the feet of our Guru. And gain that understanding. And having gained that understanding, we have to practice it. Many people fail here because they forget to practice. After some time, I know all this, but I am not gaining any benefit. Benefit only come when you practice. You know everything about a medication, but if you don't take it, how will you get cured? So therefore, the practice must be done. And that practice will lead to experience. And when one has experience, supported by the emotion, supported by the understanding knowledge, supported by one's own experience, all put together becomes conviction. So therefore I must gain this conviction in all 5. And then when all this is done, I become single pointed, samadhanam. Single pointed. No distraction at all. Or I practice through japa, etc. to become single pointed. So there is no distraction. So this 6 is called Shat Sampati. And the last one is burning desire for liberation. How much do I want it? Many of us have this desire for permanent happiness. We want happiness. But we are running around through the temporary world without using that discrimination, looking for happiness everywhere. And there are those of us who know the scriptures are pointing out that our real nature is happiness, not in the world outside. We know we want it, but we are still caught in the world outside. Habituatedly, we are running out. Pushed by our own desires, we are running out. And there are those rare few who want it now. What? That freedom from sorrows. Now, such a student who wants it goes to the Guru. How does he go to the Guru? He goes with humility. Not to show off that I know so much, but to gain what that Guru has. But how to gain from that Guru? So therefore he also goes with that attitude of seva. I'm ready to serve you, O Guru. And through that service to the Guru, I tune to the Guru. And through tuning to that Guru, who is that Guru? That Guru is that who has the infinite, who is the infinite appearing in front of us. So therefore he has that self-knowledge. He is Brahman, he is the infinite Lord. He is a Brahmavid, he is the knower of Brahman, he is Brahman. He is a Brahmanishta established in that infinite truth, infinite happiness. One who has it only can give it to us. And well established in the scriptures, he can show us what the knowledge of the scriptures is. At the same time help us to get that. So this is who the Guru is. And the only desire, if we say the Guru has, is only to uplift us to the state which he is. So therefore, such a person approaches the Guru. And such a person is called Devata. And such a person goes to Hanumanji and says, please release the sun. Please give us that knowledge of the truth so that we also can swallow it and become one with it. come to discover that self, that Lord in our heart. It is said that as we start serving and learning and practicing, we start tuning to the Guru. As we start tuning to the Guru, that self, that Lord in our heart, slowly starts to reveal itself. So the amount of attunement we have with our Guru, to that extent, through that connection with the Guru, through that seva, the vasanas get exhausted, and slowly as that gets exhausted, the mind becomes more calmer, mind becomes more single pointed, the more and more that Lord is getting revealed in our heart. And as that gets revealed, the joy, the happiness, the compassion, the love starts pouring through us also. So therefore, one needs to approach the Guru. That Devata, that seeker who has got these qualifications, approaches the Guru to gain that knowledge, to remove the ignorance. It is because of the ignorance only you and I are caught, because we forgot. Hence we have imagined and we are living in this cycle. So therefore, to get back to that truth, we have to remove the ignorance. To remove the ignorance, we have to go to the one who knows the truth, who has that supreme knowledge. So to that Guru we go to. And who is that Guru? Here it is, our Hanumanji. Here Hanumanji is called as Kapi. Why is he called Kapi? Kapi means Ka and P. Kapi in normal statement means monkey. P means to drink. And Ka means Sukha. Sukha means bliss of the infinite Brahman. So therefore Kapi means a person of realization who is continuously drinking the divine knowledge, who is continuously living in that bliss. And so to such a Guru if I go, he will reveal to me what he has. Another definition of Ka is Lord Vishnu. That Lord who pervades the entire creation, who has come as Sri Rama. So that Kapi is one who is constantly reveling, constantly drinking that nectar of love, nectar of devotion of Sri Rama. And such a person will reach him alone. So therefore in verse 1, in this verse, shows us that the cause is ignorance. And this ignorance is causing us our sorrows and making us suffer. So by the grace of devotees like Hanumanji, the Guru, one who has these divine qualities of sadhana chatushtaya, humility and seva bhava, ever ready to serve the Guru, so that one can tune, such a person gains that knowledge and removes the ignorance, and the truth is seen everywhere. So therefore, prepare your mind with sadhana chatushtaya. Be humble. Be grateful for what you have been given. Humility comes when we feel grateful, when we feel blessed. Always look at what you have. Don't look at what you don't have. First, count your blessings. We have so much to be grateful about, but yet we are always chasing something we don't have. Happiness is here and now, it is with me, but yet my mind is imagining the happiness in the future. Bring it back. Count your blessings. And in that process of counting your blessings and being grateful, we may come to discover our true self. So therefore, this is the first cause of sorrow, and this is the cure of our sorrow. Tomorrow we will see verse 2, where Tulsidas ji will show us another means, another cause of sorrow, another means of removing this sorrow. It is 8 o'clock, so we will just have a bhajan, and then we will finish for today. And you all chant the Hanuman Chalisa in your own time.
मङ्गलमूर्ति मारुतनन्दन मङ्गलमूर्ति मारुतनन्दन सकलमङ्गलमूलनिकन्दन सकलमङ्गलमूलनिकन्दन मङ्गलमूर्ति मारुतनन्दन पवनतनय सन्तनहितकारी हृदय विराजत अवध विहारी मातु पिता गुरु गणपति शारद शिव समेत शंभु सुख नारद चरण वंदे बिनवो सब काहू देहु राम पद नेह निभाहु मङ्गलमूर्ति मारुतनन्दन बन्दो राम लखन बैदेही जे तुलसी के परम स्नेही जे तुलसी के परम स्नेही मङ्गलमूर्तनन्दन मारुतनन्दन मारुतनन्दन
ॐ पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओं हरि ओं